All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a wonderful day. It was a lot of relief today, considering we didn't get a brand new Chinese AI to disrupt everything. You saw a nice bounce back in tech. Nvidia was still a little bit lower, but you had names like Meta and even Apple going absolutely crazy. The market was still debating about this DeepSeek stuff, and now tomorrow we have Jerome Powell. So I want to go over what happened today. We're going to talk about the relief. I even have all of the theories. I mean, we did cover it a lot in the last two watch lists. You have a lot of analysts really just kind of buying some time until earnings. That's my idea. And we even talked about it yesterday. But obviously, the situation is still developing. It's not going to happen overnight. And now tomorrow we get Jerome Powell. But here's the bad news, my friends. I have a breakdown. I have all the ideas, and I'm going to go over that with you. But it's not expected to be a large move. That's what I hate to tell you. It does create a little bit of opportunity because if you remember December, we weren't expecting much and a lot of people weren't prepared for Powell, and that's what we got to talk about. But tomorrow, you are only pricing in about 0.78. So go run the numbers. It's about like 470 to 480 if you go do the daily. You know, you got the tutorial on this channel, but it's a really small move. It kind of makes sense, but you know, this isn't a meeting like the last time where we had a SCP. You're still getting into the presidency, but there has been a lot of interesting developments. So I'm going to go over that, give you my theories. We're going to go over the plays. I don't know, man, if you caught the Baba or not. We even had some stuff towards the end of the day and some pretty good moves. So I have all of that. What I need from you, a thumbs up on the video. Make sure you're subscribed. And if you don't know, we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open, youtube.com/the Stock Market. We will see you there in the morning, baby. Run it.
Working to the couch, it's the 2020 election. Live in the hills, but I still get a spread. Started with a live, but I still reinvest it. Feel how I feel, then you feel like a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but they sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down, hold it.
But right off the bat, like you saw today, the market had a pretty nice bounce. And like I said, some names like Meta and Apple, they are being viewed positively after this DeepSeek development. Go look at Apple. It's up 10% from the lows. Meta is hitting highs into earnings. Now, people do have reservations coming into the earnings, but simply everybody today, they outlined their theses. Some people said it was good. Some analysts said that it was bad. You had everybody talking about AI deflation, and that's really the question here is AI prices, what happens when they come down? What happens to the moats? What happens to the capex? What happens to the companies that adopt it? And then what even happens to the energy? Are we going to need as much? How is that all going to play out? And like we're saying, there's good and bad. Some people are very bearish. Some people are still very bullish. Just like anything, there is going to be winners and losers, and now the market is figuring that out. But the way a lot of these analysts framed it, a lot of people kind of put an asterisk leading into earnings. The way I kind of saw everybody today watching the market move, Nvidia is still pretty low, even though it was a big move off the bottom. It was like $10, but remember, that was the biggest move in history. So it does seem like earnings, again, will be that make or break moment. And like I've been telling you, the value, and at minimum, you're probably going to get a rotation. This reminds me of the last time we saw tech kind of freak out, and then Dow had one of its best rallies ever. Now, obviously, that would only be if this ended up good, not something where it popped a bubble and caused, you know, the terrible things that you've heard people talk about already. So you got to kind of find the balance there. But the other thing beyond that, another minimum people are talking about, and it was related to some of the news. It's like, yeah, at minimum, we get a value rotation no matter what. This, because again, in NAG 7 NVIDIA, they ran without everybody else. So in a weird way, they could still drop without everybody else. It will bring down the indexes. But again, there's a lot of rotation and that money's still going somewhere. And now people are talking about China. Again, is this what they need if Trump keeps going easy on them? You don't hear anything bad. They start getting into the AI discussions. this is the gap between China and the NASDAQ. So maybe there's room for them to come together. But then again, you never know. Things could get very wild in this next 4 years. But that's kind of how people are looking at it so far. So we are going to see and how tomorrow plays into it. But the way you got to really want to parse this out moving forward, you thought it was just about tariff, inflation, bonds, and policy, the dollar, right? Well, now you got to talk about this AI deflation. Who benefits, who doesn't, what happens to if prices go down, who is going to benefit, who is going to get obliterated off that. And that is how we're probably going to move forward. And that's why earnings and guidance will be important, at least in the short term, if you are looking for signals and to see how people are thinking. So we'll see where that takes us. But that is key number one. And now coming into Powell and key number two, Powell really boils down to one thing. I think a lot of people forgot about December. We had Donald Trump, we had Trump coin, Melania. You had a lot of things going on, man. Ever since, I'm telling you, it's been wild. But don't forget, Jerome Powell, December 18th, it was the SEP. And I remember I didn't expect him to do much. The market didn't price in anything. We were talking about nobody has puts. That was the opportunity. And again, he really, really surprised, and that was a wild move. Why did he surprise? They came in ultra hawkish. The Fed raised their PCE expectations, and they were like, nah, we're not going to do that many rate cuts anymore, even though we just started. And it was like a really hawkish Powell. That's what kind of gave us that December until inauguration, even that kind of bumpy start at the beginning of the year. So don't forget what happened. Now, it's not going to be as intense as last time. We'll see. But the real question is, at the end of it, the statement, the press conference, is he going to be as hawkish as last time? Is he going to have the same attitude, defend the 2 rate cuts, still be worried about inflation? Or does he double down on it? Does he use this as an opportunity to signal to the market, hey, I'm not playing around. We really believe it, especially after what we've seen from Besant and Trump and all of that. Or does he back off? I mean, even think about the AI stuff to a degree. What's going to happen there? So the weird part is that the economic data since then till now hasn't really, like, some has been really good, some has been really bad. It doesn't warrant anything extreme, right? But that was the case even from the last time. Trump and Besant have been a little bit more aggressive in some areas where it's like, okay, you've even been watching some of that with Colombia, Mexico, all of this stuff that we're seeing. That's a little bit more aggressive, but then places like China and even some of the war stuff, he's kind of chilling out, and that's having a different effect. So I don't know how Powell is going to take it, but I do have an idea, and really, I think he does nothing. Now, I'm going to double down on this. I hope Powell doesn't double down on hawkish, but if he does, you'll know and be able to react in time. I'll see you there live, but just, I think like last time I was wrong, but dude, he is in a really good spot right now. He overshot Trump. When it's all said and done, homeboy came in and everybody on the Fed, oh yeah, inflation is going to go up extremely high. Worst case scenario, they're right. Inflation really does rocket. At least they could finally be on the right side of it. They'll be prepared. There, no qualms about that. That would actually end up being good. If the Fed was really prepared and Trump blows it and inflation goes crazy, awesome. And then worst case scenario, if it doesn't happen and things actually end up working and they're like, okay, we could actually lower the rates. Worst case, they were just cautious. So I think he's in a very good spot right now. I thought he was last time, not as good as this time because, again, rates did move a lot. The dollar moved a lot, and even then, you kind of had one of the biggest NVIDIA moves yesterday, and the market's taking it relatively well. So, I mean, you never know, but at the same time, Powell will really see how he's feeling tomorrow, and as much as we can anticipate, remember, just in real time, there's a lot of signals, and if he does flip this script, be prepared to move. Now, the other part you need to really add into all of it, and this is why I'm saying kind of why I don't think he's going to do too much tomorrow. Right now, and after how hawkish he was last time, he said 2 rate cuts for 2025. Any more than, if he gets any more hawkish from here, we're talking no more rate cuts for 2025, or even then, the market, once you start getting a little overboard, if you start saying 0, 1, they're going to be like, he's going to raise rates. That's what's going to happen next. I know what he's going to. But then again, it kind of makes sense. That is how the Fed moves. They're slow, but at the same time, there's a lot of momentum behind the decision. So for now, though, two rate cuts are priced in for the end of the year. And this is what you got to watch after tomorrow. If you really want to see how the market is feeling post-Powell, post-statement, we'll see if those rate cut odds move. But a lot of people are coming into this data, everything, the way they've overshot. I mean, there's not too much that should change that unless Powell wants to change that. Unless Powell wants less than 2 rate cuts priced in, or he wants more, less. I mean, that'll be up to him. So we will see. But again, Fed futures, the amount of rate cuts, that will be an important function to watch tomorrow, especially if you want more info. But that is key number 3. And then I got a little scoop for you. Nobody told me this. I'm just good at guessing sometimes, and I could be so wrong. I have no shame. I know. Get a long term though. That's a good one too. But here's the deal. Somebody tomorrow in the press room, they're going to ask Powell. They're going to think they're snarky or it'll sound cute. They're going to ask him about DeepSeek and effects and all of that. And he's going to say something along the lines of the market working itself out and we don't talk. And, he's going to talk about just the market and financial conditions. That's what they're going to kind of revolve around with that. And then, but I don't think you'll get probably a NVIDIA pop off of that, but you never know what he says on it. If DeepSeek changes his views and he thinks it's deflationary, that will be new, but I doubt it. We'll find out. But other than that, tomorrow will feel important. It shouldn't move big. If it does, there's your opportunity, but we'll find out. And then now we'll juggle a lot more of the politics, a little bit of the AI and DeepSeek, and see where it takes us. But now let us get into the plays. So right off the bat, this one's big, man. Apple. I don't know last time I put Apple on a play. Short term, midterm, I don't know. People like it long term. I would want it at a better price, but people are saying, I think it was Goldman, they're saying Apple is the big winner out of all of this DeepSeek stuff. They're saying that Apple could get their mojo back because now their chips and everything, they implement this cheap DeepSeek, even them with China and all of it. I mean, so far the analysts are getting really bullish on Apple after this. That's why it's moved up 10%. But think about it, everyone wants to find the big bad, mega cap company that could withstand everything, inflation, all that. Apple was doing good, and then it kind of struggled for a little bit with this AI stuff, and even NVIDIA versus Apple is insane, but now people are thinking Apple might be the winner out of all of this. So far, they're labeling it alongside Meta as the DeepSeek winner. I think Trump kind of likes Cook, or at least they have a cordial relationship, and again, impact with China and that negotiating tactics. So we'll see, but in general, if you start to see more or less DeepSeek NVIDIA fears, Apple might go up in both instances. So keep your eye out for it. I don't have any plays on it. We'll see where it takes us. I had those puts, actually, that $10 one from last week. I thought they were going to hit on Monday, but they didn't. But play number 2, NVO. So they had news today. I only have this in the long term. We saw it. I kept saying today, I'm surprised it didn't move much, but we were dealing with another play. But there was news of Ozempic being the first FDA-approved GLP-1 to reduce the risk of worsening kidney disease and cardiovascular disease. And yes, I saw the video you sent me of the singer who says it causes bone density loss too. So I thought, because every time I brought it up, you guys asked me. So yes, I saw that one too. But this news is good, but it's not the most groundbreaking. It's only for adults, and it's type 2 diabetes and chronic kidney disease. That's what CKD is. So it's a step in the direction of Ozempic getting approved for all these other things. And, there's a lot of high hopes for it being this miracle drug amongst just the weight loss. So it was good, but like I'm saying, it could definitely, again, if they start getting FDA approval for addiction or just heart disease alone without it kind of having any stipulations there, then it would be a lot better and it'd go crazy. And people have priced this into the stock a while ago, but keep your eye out for it, especially if they could start getting back on it. Again, they've kind of had a good string of trial data, and you even had some positive RFK comments in general for pharma today. So we'll watch that, but I'm going to be keeping an eye on NVO even for the short term. And then play number 3, baby, TLT. So we got like 25 free ones from the last flip. That'll cover Powell. So really, if you already got that, you don't need to play it. But really, if even to get in or hold the play or not, depending on the Fed futures, the Zaza, the ZQ, those rate cut odds after the end of it, that'll probably let you know what he's feeling. If he is too neutral and it is a dud, you might just get a pop and then sell the rip, because this time leading into Powell, the correlation of run up into the Fed day 3, that's what you are doing for now. So again, if he's too neutral, doesn't really change much, then bonds are going to go back into the court of, are people buying them for fear of Nvidia, and how do they feel about trade, dollar, all of that good stuff. So we'll see where that plays out. But again, I'll be there live, baby, so we'll see. But that's play number 3. And then finally, the plays that I made today. I made this one sucked. It was Lyft. We caught it moving. I don't know what the news was. I mean, somebody even sent me something. It was related to like an insurance law. So I heard some people talk about an insurance law, and Lyft and Uber had to pay or cover certain insurance. And then there was another thing about a transportation secretary getting approved, but only Uber and Lyft move off to that, not the whole transportation index. So it was really weird. We had an opportunity to snake it. I got it for 3 cents. This one went to like $9, but I tried to get more of them. I only got filled on one, a Lyft weekly $12 put, so $3. I said it on stream. I'm not even going to stream alert or anything because it wasn't really the full play, and by the time I could have positioned, it literally tripled, quadrupled up. It was absolutely nuts. So I only got one, $3, and then this one was absolutely crazy. It was an interesting timeline again, but simply Baba AI news and like, again, just a lot of China stocks. It was like a 1, 2, 3 punch. So here was the stream alert of it. Again, we were doing our Philo Bible time. I was like mid-paragraph, bro. It was actually insane. You could go watch the recap. But there was this, and I said it was 5 minutes ago, and then we started talking about it. This news was 5 hours ago. So people were saying like Alibaba made this like cloud AI thing with DeepSeek, and it was even better than DeepSeek, and essentially AI for cloud, and then another China AI thing. It was a little subtle, but it was posted in the morning. Then it started getting reiterated, and then it followed 5-6 minutes later, Net and Baba partnership with DeepSeek, and then that was the follow-up. We were trying to figure it out, and I was like, listen, man, even if it's old, I said this all on stream, I was like, I'm going to go for it. It'll cover earnings. They're cheap plays still. Again, I bought the 7 cents ones, but after watching people be very late on the DeepSeek stuff, I said, you know what, why not? And then it was like, I'm telling you, it was a right hook, left hook, uppercut, because you had the AI DeepSeek news, but then you had the Commerce Secretary Lutnick. He was doing, again, he's the Commerce Secretary. He doesn't mention China or anything. That was viewed as a positive sign, and then it all went crazy. So we got that play again. It was during Philo, so it was interesting, but I grabbed 20 of them, spent $140. A couple minutes later, I think it took like 20, 30 minutes later. Again, we just kept reading, and then it popped up. I sold half of them at 14 cents a pop, got my initial investment back. That's how you make it free. So literally, I bought 20 of them for 140, sold 10 of them for 140. Now I cannot lose any of the money I started with, and now we have free Baba earnings AI plays, and yeah, they're pretty good. So other than that, that was the only plays I made, so we waited for that. I think it was a good snipe. The NVIDIAs, the barbells, they didn't work on the barbell, the one in the money or near the money. That one went up like 60%, so I was still riding that one out, but pretty decent. We'll see what the Fed brings tomorrow and everything we just talked about. But Chad, that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure hydrate healthy, ready to go. Make sure post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shining. And I need you to remember, your beliefs should lead to the end, not a means to the end. Oh, yes, my brother. That could change your life. Remember, every problem is based in fear. I don't know. So you have nothing to fear, my brother. Watch. Believe me, and you'll see. Oh, but Chad, drink that water. Stay hydrated, healthy, all that good stuff. I'll see you in the morning. And Horna.